That's the story of what's happened so far. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
6-0, 60-53, Manny Pacquiao. Maybe I'm being a little bit more generous than I should be. I think there's a lot more 10-8 rounds mixed in there somewhere. But here's a major, I gotta point this out. He's cut over the right eye. Initially, that cut was caused by an accidental headbutt. If this fight gets stopped, that cut is being made worse by legal blows. If the fight gets stopped, because we're beyond the 4th round, they'll go to the scorecards to determine the winner. But certainly, Pacquiao is way ahead on the scorecards.
Normally, we look at Pacquiao as such a power puncher. Now he's a crafty, technical boxer in this fight.
And let me just reinterpret what Harold said. What you're saying, Harold, is that he can't win the fight strictly because of that cut, because he didn't cause it with a punch.
It'll go to the scorecards, it'll win. He can't win it on a TKO.
That's correct.
Whichever way it goes, he's going to win this fight unless they end up with another disqualification.
Look at the combinations.
Watch your hold. Watch your hold.
To the degree that boxing can be a demonstration of supreme violence mixed with artistic brilliance, that's what Manny Pacquiao is providing tonight. David Diaz keeps plugging away. He wasn't as fast as Zab Judah in 1996 either, but he somehow got that done. He wasn't as fast as Armando Santa Cruz 2 summers ago in Chicago, but he somehow got that done. His career will never be compared with that of the great Eric Morales, but he somehow got that done. So don't tell David Diaz he doesn't have a chance. He doesn't believe you.
Break. Watch your hold.
And incidentally, lest you think that Pacquiao may have no other talents besides what he shows you in the ring, he's currently enrolled in college courses back in the Philippines. When he goes to class to sit in a college classroom, 5 armed bodyguards have to wait outside the building.
Plus, he says when even in class, he spends more time signing autographs than he does doing homework or studying.
The teachers, like the students, scream and shout when he comes into the room and ask to have their picture taken with him.
Hey, when you're in close, your left hook is open for you to the body. Okay. But you don't want to throw anything wide, like I told you, all right? Okay. You've got to try to keep your head below his.
Right.
And once you're inside, you got to cushion back with your head.
Okay. Go around with him. Feint him, he goes under. Feint him and look to the uppercut. All right? Okay. When you feint him, just like in the gym.
Take a deep breath. Okay, timing. Huwag magbuhos. Timing tayo, okay? Timing.
Don't get tangled up in the inside with him.
Ang depensa, balik
use your feet.
Okay?
The way for a slower fighter to deal with speed is to try to interrupt the action and make the faster fighter fight when he doesn't want to. There hasn't been a moment in this fight when Manny Pacquiao didn't want to assault David Diaz. So it's very difficult for Diaz to find any moment at which to make a statement. He's gotten in some body punches, but mostly he's taken big shots.
As he said, when he told Strickland about 2 rounds back, he just can't handle the speed. And I think that's a good way to sum it up. It's too much of speed.
Well, we wondered if Pacquiao would look any slower at 135 pounds than he did at 126 and 130. And Emmanuel, I think the early returns may be made a little bit more dramatic because of the absence of speed from the opponent. Is, if anything, he looks faster.
He looks faster, more natural, looks stronger. All the way down, much more devastating. Soon this fight's going to have to stop pretty soon. The referee's going to have to stop the fight.
Diaz gets in a good left uppercut of his own. Fires a straight jab, comes forward to make clear, I'm still a fighter, I'm not going to go away. But at this point, you worry about how badly is David Diaz going to get hurt by continuing to take punishment in a fight where he's not going to go down, not going to get knocked out. He blocked a lot of those shots. Sometimes the knockout is a merciful event.
Yes, because right now, even when Diaz throws punches, there's no power. He just pushing and stumbling and falling in, but there's no power. So it's just a matter of time before he gets knocked out, unless the referee or the corner stops the fight.
And if the kind of mercy that puts you on your back is not going to take place, then it's up to the referee and the medical supervisors at ringside to deliver mercy on their own.
Yeah, I think the referee's getting in position to stop the fight now. He's looking entirely strictly at his eye and his face. So he's getting in a position and his mind is functioning on stopping the fight now.
Increasingly on the defensive, Diaz has less and less to offer as the 8th round goes on. The crowd has gotten its money's worth. The crowd has seen the show they wanted to see. Manny Pacquiao has made his statement. There isn't much reason beyond a few moments like that for this to keep going forward. If ever you knew in advance that if things got bad, an opponent would be too brave for his own good, you knew it tonight.
Yeah, I think the corner should stop the fight. It would be a graceful way to end it, but it's over for all practical.
Time. I'm good, man. I can still see.
Let me hear this. Let me close your eye. You can't punch from outside. Now, you hear me? Keep your hands beside your chin until you work your way in that way. Let him hit the gloves. But if you try to punch him outside, he's punching. Okay. They may have one more chance.
Let's go. Yes, that's what they're talking about. Let's go.
The referee.
You got to pick it up. Move your head. You just move that hand real nice.
In and out, in and out.
CompuBox numbers show that from the 5th round on, David Diaz's punch output has been dropping. 65 punches thrown in the 5th, 57 in the 6th, 50 in the 7th, only 38 in the 8th. Surely a serious consideration must now be given to stopping the fight in the 9th if things continue the way they've been. I guess, given the accepted traditional ethic in the sport manual, if this were Pacquiao's title belt instead of Diaz's, it would have been stopped before now.
It probably would have. You know, because Diaz is going to keep coming all night long as they let him. But even when he punches, he's ineffective. He's not a knockout puncher, so he's not going to perform a one-punch miracle. It just how much more punch damage can he take before the fight eventually ends.
He's had his moment in the sun. He's got an $800,000 guarantee and the chance for pay-per-view benefits if the buy rate rises above a certain level. He got a lot of publicity before the fight saying, I'm driving a 1991 Honda with no air conditioning. He's going to get a chance to buy a new car.
Well, he might end up with $1 million in these fights, which is a good paycheck. And he's did a good job. He's just not talented enough to compete on this level with the top fighters.
But he's brave enough to compete on any level. And he's proven that. Straight left-hand shot for Pacquiao. Diaz falls into his arms. If the idea here is that there's some honor in allowing David Diaz to finish the fight, that would be a very misplaced instinct.
It's not worth it.
There's plenty of honor for Diaz tonight. It won't be in some way embellished by letting him go to a bloodier, more brutal finish. How many more? Down he goes, and Dracula stops the fight.
He should have never got to that.
Welcome to the lightweight division.
Manny Pacquiao was sensational tonight. He put on a clinic and it proved that he was much more than just a power puncher.
A flame of pure fire.
He did it all.
Incomparable in the sport. There's only one. Portrait of a superstar. Manny Pacquiao in bold relief.